On January 6, 2026, a Reddit user known as Whole Negotiation 1843 uploaded a short video filmed in a forest. At first glance, nothing appears unusual, but then, partially obscured behind a narrow trunk, something can be seen watching. As the man filming approaches, a dark, humanoid shape becomes visible peering from behind one specific tree. It does not move. It does not react. For several seconds, it stands unnaturally still, prompting the unsettling question of whether what we're seeing is even a cryptid at all. When the man steps closer, however, the figure abruptly withdraws, slipping completely out of sight behind the tree. What makes the moment even more disturbing is the scale. The tree is far too thin to conceal a body of that size, yet the figure vanishes entirely, as if it were never bound by physical space at all. The sighting is eerily consistent with descriptions of the HideBehind, a nocturnal, fearsome critter from American logging folklore dating back to the 1800s. According to legend, the HideBehind stalks those who wander forests at night and was often blamed for the unexplained disappearances of early loggers who never returned to camp. The creature is said to possess a preternatural ability to conceal itself. When an observer attempts to look directly at it, the HideBehind instantly moves behind a nearby object, or even behind the observer, remaining perpetually unseen. It's described as tall, thin, and powerful. Victims are said to be dragged back to its lair, where the creature feeds, with some accounts claiming it subsists primarily on the intestines. One curious detail appears repeatedly across accounts. The creature is said to have a strong aversion to alcohol. In logging camps, it was believed that a drunken person was unlikely to be attacked, making liquor a grim but effective safeguard. Whether the figure in the video is an illusion, a coincidence, or something more, its behavior mirrors the folklore with uncomfortable precision. On a Sunday night shortly before midnight in September 2019, a Ring doorbell camera captured a deeply disturbing scene. The footage shows a woman sprinting onto a neighbor's porch, pounding desperately on the door. Seconds later, a man rushes into frame, seizes her by the hair, and drags her off the porch and into the yard. As she screams for help, he repeatedly stomps on and punches her. During the struggle, he delivers a chilling threat.
You're welcome.
The incident occurred in Arcadia, California. When the homeowner reviewed the footage, they immediately turned it over to police, who began searching the neighborhood. Their search led them to a nearby home, where they discovered the woman being held captive. The suspect was identified as 27-year-old Robert Michael Mendez, the woman's estranged boyfriend. Investigators determined that the woman had attempted to escape his home and ran to the neighbor's door seeking help. Mendez caught up to her, forced her back down the block, and held her inside his residence against her will. Mendez was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and kidnapping. The woman sustained serious injuries and required hospitalization. Neighbors said that they heard the couple arguing in the past but had kept to themselves, never imagining the violence would escalate to this level. The footage serves as a grim reminder that extreme danger can exist quietly, sometimes just beyond the walls of a familiar home. On August 1st, 2014, a dock worker using the username Steve Goldhound shared a disturbing account on Imgur involving a decommissioned military vessel undergoing inspection in a dry dock. As part of the process, the dock foreman, identified only as John, was sent aboard to photograph interior work areas. John took several hundred photographs and forwarded them to his supervisor. Shortly afterward, he was called into the office and asked a simple but alarming question. Who is the man in this photo? The image in question shows a dark figure partially leaning out from behind a wall. When the photograph is zoomed in and enhanced, the figure appears to be a man holding an axe. The location was a narrow cross alley deep within the ship's interior, an area far from public access. John insisted he had seen no one else on board. During the inspection, he moved through the ship alone, carrying a camera and a torch for light. Each time he took a photograph, he would turn off the torch, momentarily plunging the corridor into complete darkness, snap the picture, then turn the light back on and continue on his route. Because the vessel was military property, authorities were notified. Police conducted a thorough search of the ship but found no one. There was only a single point of entry and exit, a gangway monitored by CCTV. The ship's sides dropped roughly 25 meters onto solid concrete, making escape or entry from outside virtually impossible. No footage showed anyone leaving the ship after John completed his inspection. Skeptics have suggested the figure was a fellow dock worker playing a prank, or possibly John himself captured in the reflection or the shadow. However, those who spoke with John described him as genuinely shaken by the incident. The figure in the photograph also bears no resemblance to any known workers at the dock. Another theory proposes the figure was a transient who had been secretly living inside the abandoned ship, startled by the sudden presence of someone taking photographs and cautiously peering around the corner with an axe in hand for protection. If true, the implications are no less unsettling. A person familiar with the ship's vast interior could have remained hidden for an extended period, moving unseen through its labyrinthine corridors. Whether the image captured a human intruder or something far stranger, the fact remains. Someone, or something, was there, in the darkness of the ship. For more episodes, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications.